What's going on, family? Live from the city of Los Angeles. This is the weekly tap in. I'm your host, Dwayne Cofield, and I'm tapping in. Yes, indeed. It is May 23rd. Man, nice, cool day in LA. What's going on with you guys? Hopefully, all is well. Make sure you guys put your city repping in the comments. Those who are listening on the replay, man, make sure you guys give us a review, man. We need that. So make sure you guys do that, man, as soon as you can. Those who have already, we thank you tremendously. We could not do it without you or our sponsors, hairlivery.com and also Mentors LA. Charles Famous Fried Chicken, man. That chicken is fantastic if you haven't tasted it. But this episode, man, the language of champions, man, we are on episode number 17, season 3, man. We are putting in work. Let me tell you something, man. We are putting in work, and we could not do it without this audience. Let me adjust my camera real quick, slightly. All righty. So the language of champions, man. We're talking about it today, man. A couple things, man. I'll get to that. I just wanted to acknowledge first. So, man, shout out to those who are sending in the questions. I know Samuel had another question that I will answer in terms of how much we actually help people or try to give people resources, man. There's a certain limit that you need to put on yourself because at that same time there needs to be someone who who can get it on their own, not necessarily have to solely rely on you. So just to address that, you lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You give him the resources, you put them in motion. Hey, here's where it is, websites, etc., etc. But this day, I mean, at this stage of the process, man, if cats ain't willing to do a Google search, if cats ain't willing, like when people, they talk a certain thing, like we'll talk about Google Ads and things like that, but there's so many free resources that you can learn this stuff on. You feel what I'm saying? Like, speaking of the language of champions, man, we're optimists, almost to the point of insanity, right? There's nothing we can't do mentally. That's what we really think. And that gets us in trouble sometimes, but at the same time, it gets us to our dreams, right? Because we have this illogical sense of, and the thing about the universe and God, they don't know whether you lying or not. God knows whether you lying or not, but the universe has no idea whether you're telling the truth or not. You dig what I'm saying? So they don't know. It's like, okay, so is he faking? You could say whatever you want. So we'll talk about that too, just in terms of speaking things into existence, even if we aren't at the position of where we're prepared, right? Even if we're not there yet, we got to still talk that shit. We got to still speak it into existence because whether we believe it or not, it's going to happen. What we keep talking about. So what it do? Hey Z, what's cracking? Man, we chilling, dog. Everything is gravy out this way. But yeah, man, I was, and what kind of brought me to the subject was the fact that I was outside of my son's school, and these two females were speaking Spanish. And what's going on? What's going on, Lynch? Mom, um, these two females were speaking Spanish, and I was like, I understand it. I can, I can understand Spanish to a certain extent, but they have this language to where if they don't want to include you in that, they'll, and that's for any language, right? They'll exclude you. It's only for the people who understand. So we'll speak this. Like when we want to keep everybody out of our business, we'll switch to this language. And champions got a language, right? Winners have a language. There's a certain code that we follow. There's a certain language that we speak where we're constantly speaking things into existence, right? We're like, man, how did this dude get from here to here, right? It's damn near impossible. Well, not necessarily, right? Not necessarily, and that's the thing. It's like we got to watch our language. Most people don't watch their mouths. You heard your mom and your daddy telling you that, grandma, watch your mouth, watch your mouth. Boy, they don't want you to cuss. But what they didn't explain was the power of what we were saying and what that can actually have an effect on our lives. And I started realizing that once I started saying certain things, and whether I said it or not, it was my intent, right? It was what I was trying to do was, and I'm like, damn, this is my result is based on what I thought about. And I'm like, man, I could think people love. I thought of my son. My son does. I thought of his agent. Boom, she emails me Monday to this morning. I'm like, man, you know what I mean? I'm like, there's a power in this. And I said, but nobody knows the code. I said, there's a few of us that get it. There's a few of us. And most of the people who speak the language of champions, another thing they do is they speak life into you. You ever notice that? Real cats speak life into you. You know what I'm saying? They don't see the impossible. They never hate on you, even if they know it's a bonehead idea. They know you're going to discover it eventually. They got enough confidence in you to make you say, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'll figure it out eventually." That this is a stupid idea. So I don't need the homie or somebody who I look up to tell me it's a stupid ass idea. I will get to it. Right? Discoveries and mud. We talked about self-discovery, right? And the power in that maybe like 2 episodes ago. So that's the thing. A lot of times we thinking we're giving people advice, man, that's probably not a good idea. Man, if they had the idea and God gave it to them, it was a good idea. It may need refinement. It may need to pivot. It may need a little bit of adjustment, but champions don't down other champs, homie. Even if you ain't got a belt yet, right? And you sitting up there like a boxer, man, you got to start emulating who you want to become. You can't walk in the ring like somebody who don't have a belt. How did the champion walk into the belt? How does Errol Spence carry himself? What does he say? You know what I'm saying? What's he talking about? How does he speak? Right? When he won that belt, first thing Errol Spence said, I'm coming for the next belt. I'm coming for this. And he confident. And one of the things that I picked up just watching champions, every time they win a ring, every time they win a belt, every time they win a pennant, they saw it, they visualized it, and they were confident about it, right? And they didn't talk that, oh man, if we lose, what's gonna happen? Right? Ain't no plan B. If we lose, how's that possible? Even if we have to take a step back or sideways, we're still not losing, right? If you ever get defeated, man, the best thing to do is talk to a champion. Make sure you have one in your Rolodex. They're around, belts and experience and all that. Talk to them and figure out what the language and the code is, and you'll start to see consistency in everything that they do and how they talk, the way that they see the world, right? Deion Sanders, another champion. You want to talk about somebody or listen to somebody? Deion Sanders, same cat that said there is no bad days. What's going on, buddy Lee? Appreciate that. Appreciate you tapping in too, Quinta. Love, appreciate you guys. But Deion Sanders talked that. I don't have bad days. Said I can control everything, right? No matter what happens, is how I react to it, right? Charles Swindoll said the same thing. 80% of how you react to it, 20% of how, or what do you say, 90%. Life is 90% how you reacted to it, only 10% of what happens to you. That's that championship talk, right? We're not defeated. Oh man, it's over. Man, if you can say it's over, it's not over. If you can speak that, if you can verbally say it's over, then it's really not over for you. Dig that one, right? And we have to have that optimistic eye on things, right? Always speaking life, man. Okay, that was cool. That I'm doing something different next time. I'm on to the next one. Okay, I barked up that path. Now I had to pivot. It's all about optimism. What's next? What can I do? Right? That's my number one thing, right? When anything comes in my way, what can I do about it? Period. This is championship talk right here. What can I do about it? Nothing? Okay, moving on. Is there something I can do about it? Cool. What's the possible? What's the upside? What can we do? Right? People always ready to give you the hey man, we're screwed. Okay, well shit, I don't want to hear that. What can we do? What's our next best option? Right? Oh, he don't have no work. Okay, well, who do have, like, same thing with the work, right? Oh, he ain't got none. That ain't the end of what we talking about. Who does have it? Is this an opportunity for us to learn how to cook? Right? What can we do? Right? What can we do? That's championship talk. What can we do? What are our options? What can I do? Oh man, you can't advertise here. Well, what can I advertise? Oh, you can't do this. What's going on from the nap? What's going on, CJ? I think it's CJ. I can't see your face. I mean your username. Hopefully it is. What's going on, homeboy? But what can I do? Right? What are my options? Right? When you get the pen, when you hit the pen, I'm done. What can I do? I can jog. What can I do? Man, I could write. I can learn how to do this. I can learn. What can I do? I can learn about trigonometry. I can prepare myself for college. What can I do? I can get my pull-up game up. I can get my dip bar. What can I do? right? And the same thing happens when we get outside. What can I do, man? I got a job here that I got a felon. What can I do? Or you can still work. Okay, you can get an expungement or you can get a certificate of rehabilitation. Most homies ain't even applying for their certificate of rehabilitation. I'm like, you tripping, homie. Because that's the first step towards a pardon. Whether they give you a pardon or not, you can go floss that on somebody. Man, I'm rehabilitated. California said I was. So what do I need to do now? What's next? What can I do? Right? When I got into acting, I didn't have a research back. What can I do? Well, I can try my own research project until people start messing with me. What can I do? Right? Jobs tripping. I don't want to be in this position anymore. Okay, what can I do? Start your business on the side. What can I do? Let's talk that shit. Please, let's get on that. You know what I mean? Let's wake up with a smile. What can we do? Not what's, oh man, I'm done. I gotta just sit here. Ain't no just sitting there. That's not what champions do. I don't care if they got knocked down in the first, second, and third round. What makes champions is that 11th and 12th round, the championship rounds. Right? That's when their money is made. That's when they really get tested the most because you're the most tired at that point. And you got to give it your all. You got to still go out there and swing and throw punches. But both of you have to do it. So at that same time, that other cat's tired too. So it's a test of will at that point. Right? And that's the same thing with us as champions. It's a test of will. It's not a matter of what. Doesn't matter, right? Same thing with sports. We had that mentality with sports. Man, we can play anything, homie. You serious? Badminton, cricket, I don't give a shit what it is. We can play it. You know what I'm saying? Basketball, ping pong, billiards, darts, fishing, surfing. What you know what I'm saying? There's no limit to it. We getting on some Master P shit. Master P's a champion. And no limit. Ain't no limit. We ain't putting no caps on this. There's no caps. Not at the point of no cap in terms of talking like you lying, but no limits. There's no cap on it. So we got to realize that. One of the things that the book that I'm listening to said, man, there's all the money in there's more money now than there's ever been in the world. The thing about it is we gotta realize we gotta attract it, right? And a lot of times desperation ain't never attracted shit, but more desperation. So we got to be in that state of flow or that state of attraction to where it comes to us. Right. But we have to walk. We got to look like it. We got to feel like it. We got to talk that talk in order for it to come to us. If we keep talking a broke down language or the same thing these cats is talking about, and they got a broke down language. And we ain't fault nobody because a lot of times that stuff is passed down. It's hereditary, right? Who's been speaking life in anybody? I'm the most optimistic person in my family, hands down, outside of my grandmother. Right? God rest her soul. But what can't we do? And I've been trying to get stuff popping in it. I don't even trip if they don't want to mess with me. Who does? Okay, them. Okay, I'm over here with it. Right? We pay more attention to the dog shit in the park than we do the grass. And the park is gorgeous. You dig what I'm saying? But we sitting up there looking at the other stuff. Champions don't focus on that. They ain't worried about the opponent. What's the opponent? Opponent is another obstacle. In my path of many obstacles, it's nothing. Right? We're not disrespecting the opponent, but they need to understand we on some destiny stuff. Right? So this is part of the process. And when you look back over your shoulder and start to do a self-analogy, what's going on, man? Don't trip, Sammy. I got you, homie. Appreciate you tapping in from the shy. That's what we do. We got to reflect, look back, and look at our track record, man. What we done really put down. How many things have we accomplished? I was sitting back yesterday. I was at a retirement party, and the professor that taught me how to do the 25-page resume was there. And I was talking to him and his wife about it. And he still does that. He still puts that assignment out there because it makes you do a self-analyzation. And man, what have I done? Because at the end of the day, first thing we doing when we doing inventory, man, I ain't doing shit, man. Wait a minute. Time out, killer. Hold on. Give yourself some credit, man. You've done a lot. Self-inventory, just because they don't recognize game, right? That's okay. Everybody ain't supposed to recognize the champion language, and they don't come from that champion pedigree. But the beauty in it As champions aren't just born, you can build one too. You can turn yourself into one, right? By switching your language up. First of all, switching your thought process up because that dictates your language. How do I think? And what am I receiving? Right? This is another point that a lot of people miss. What am I listen to this stuff. I listen to tapes, motivational stuff. I listen to that the one I just bought, I can't even think of it. Asking It's Given 4 or 5 times in a row this week, this whole week. Because the thing about it is you got to have it to where it's almost second nature coming, just spewing out of you. Right? Because if you watching, I was watching something last night. My son was over here and we was watching the movie. They started getting gruesome. I hurry up and turn it off. I'm like, I can't watch that. And before I go to bed, they cutting each other's throats. I said, I can't let that sit on my subconscious. Shut it down. Turn to something else. And that's what we have to do. We got to train our minds because those control our mouths. And our mouths, the universe is listening. So whether we believe it or not, the universe does. Oh man, I'm fat. Man, watch you just keep putting on inches, right? And champions don't call, man. I'm just in between times. I'm on my way all the time. Don't trip. I can turn it on just like that, and you can, and you will. You got to speak it. I'm fat. Nah, man. I just need to lose some. I need to trim up a little bit. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? You got to watch your language. You ain't never seen champions go around talking about themselves. Man, look at me, man. This raggedy. They just be like, they keep it moving, man. Head up, chest out. You dig? Like it's a part of your confidence. And even if you don't have that confidence, you got to fake it until you make it. Yeah, you might have to walk around with a fake ass championship belt. Go get you a wrestling one. Or do like dude did on Boston. Come in there with a robe, get your ghost face on. You dig? But whatever it takes to psych yourself out to realize that you're a champion, whether you have a belt or not, you got to start acting like one. And it starts with your conversation and your language. And you'll realize that when you're talking to non-champions, it's going to sound like a foreign language to them, period. So when you get to sparking that optimism, when you get to sparking positivity, when you get to saying, how can we? You're going to get them, oh, man, you tripping on me. Ain't nobody ever. I saw a chick on one of these pages talking about how bad it was in her neighborhood, right? You always got them one who always saying, oh, man, ain't nothing going to happen. And they just constantly, they wish it, they want to speak it so much that they want it to come into existence. Oh, you got to get rid of the crackheads. Trader Joe's don't want to come over here. Nobody want to hear that shit. What good is that? What good does negative talk do? Somebody help me on that one. What remote benefit does negative talk have? I'm still trying to find that answer. And I'm looking at people. I'm like, man, what we talking negative for? Why don't we just be quiet and meditate? If we got, you know what I'm saying? Take it back to, if you don't have anything to say nicely, then shut the fuck up, right? Take it back to that. You feel what I'm saying? Because even if you self-degradation, whatever they call it, you can't talk about yourself. You the most important person you know. How you gonna talk shit about yourself? Oh man, I need to. My feet are ugly. Well, I hear people just say that. Man, my head. Man, I tell people, man, my head is big. Yes, so is my brain, homie. I need space, man. Oh, you got a little hair? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. So I mean, I'm comfortable in my skin. That's the thing about it. That's what makes my skin shine even more. When you're comfortable in it, right? When you realize who you are, when you know who you walk with, right? I tell stories and it sound like lies. That's why I quit telling stories. I know who I walk with. My story ain't, we had 100 keys. I'm not that guy. Never claimed to be. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you hear others, that's your walk, Dick. You know what I'm saying? You do that. But I know who I am. I know who I walk with. I know where I've been. I know how I hustled. I know what I've done. And I know the belts that I've collected on my victories. And you need to do a self-inventory yourself and see how many belts you have. Because you already have them. And once you develop that confidence, your language is going to change. Bad language, doubt, all that stuff comes from lack of self-confidence, right? You don't believe in yourself. So you want to solidify that lack of belief in yourself. A lot of times people talk that shit because they don't want to have to do anything. They don't want to have to move. They don't want to have to go after their dreams. So they want to see if they could talk themselves out of, man, you see, ain't nobody, man, everybody but you, right? You and the rest of the people that you preaching to. Because I'm not trying to hear it. I'll spin off on your ass. And Cass didn't know me, man, what? And where'd he go? He don't even answer the phone no more. Not talking that shit. Not speaking negative. Oh, no. As soon as I sense bad energy, man, we done. Hello. Let me back up from you, dog. You know what I'm saying? Because I gotta keep myself together. I got a lot of people relying on me. I got a lot of people tapping into my battery power. I don't need one more person draining it with no benefit of reciprocation. The hell I need that for? We talked about cutting people off. That's part of the championship, man. Change your trainer shit. Man, the trainer I had me getting L's. I'm over there catching left hooks, bing bangs. Okay, then I know I know I can box, but it got to be this trainer. You know what I'm saying? So let me switch him up, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Because the people that you're around ultimately are training you, whether you realize it or not. They're training you in terms of limitations. They're training you in terms of goal accomplishment. They're training you in terms of when to quit. They're training you in terms of all that. So if you stick around and watch people who are constantly quitting, who are constantly making excuses, who are constantly tapping out and not tapping in, it's the weekly tap in. That's why I tap in, homie. You feel what I'm saying? Get in. You know, we get busy. That's the thing. And consistency, man. I'm under the weather right now. I'm like, man, but that's when I'm about to deliver my best. What? I know who this is. I'm pulling the MJ with the flu, homie. About to put up 29, 30. You feel me? And that's the mentality we have to have. I'm about to, the enemy think he about to stop me now, right when I'm about to get this trophy? Negative. I'm showing up, homie. I'm in here. What we got? What can we do? You dig? What can we do? We talking that championship language. What can we do? Right? Don't put an obstacle. Okay, so how high is it? Can we go under it? Can we go through that shit? Can we go over it? What can we do? Are we stuck? There's no such thing as being stuck. I don't believe in that. I believe in if you accept that you're stuck, yeah, you're stuck. You buy into it, you start, you know what? I am kind of screwed. You know what, man, they do. Black men can't get ahead. Man, you know what, man, we are financially. Man, I don't care what they selling, dog. We ain't buying that shit. We're not buying it. I don't care what kind of stats they put. The news is all this stuff is around you to distract you. All of it. It's not there to make you think about anything but negativity, right? You might get the gift from God every now and then. He'll throw his seed, but the majority of it out there is to distract you. And you need to be aware of that. You know what I'm saying? I heard some of these stats today. I was like, because I didn't have my stuff on I was grading. I've been grading all day, so I didn't have mine. I had to kind of focus. So I didn't have my enemy repellent plan. You know what I'm saying? And that fool was attacking, throwing me. It was spoiled kids doing stuff, and they highlighting. And I'm like, man, I ain't never got a news. I've been putting in work in the juvenile, and this is where like your conflict comes in. Man, I've been putting in work since juvenile hall. I've been talking. I've been going to the Doug at a podcast, and you see somebody who, you know what I mean, like really, you know, and it's hard to understand that. But one thing you got to realize, they'll call you up when it's your time. You dig? That's the hardest part to come to, because you're like, man, I'm getting older. I'm my best. No, your best work is still in front of you, homie. That's how champions think. Not where you no. Like Andrew Wiggins on Golden State right now. He done been a minute. So he been but he's shining now. So when it's your time, they're gonna call you up. Just be ready though. Right? And don't have no hate in your heart. Don't have no hate in your bag. Right? Because a lot of times we may not have it in our heart right now, but we got it buried in this bag that we bring with us everywhere. Right? And it brings out that saltiness, that chip on your shoulder, right? Because we all got it, right? We all been through stuff. So we sometimes we bring that with us, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? And it's just one of those things, you did. But, you know, if we check ourselves and we understand that we bringing that type of baggage to the party, right? That we bringing that hate in our heart, we got to forgive other people, right? We got to love on people. We got to forgive them. It's hard. There's some people that I ain't forgave either. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times I'm preaching to myself when I'm talking that shit to you guys. So I want you to understand that I'm not being hypocritical, but you know, you gotta understand, you know, men in relationships so that they're not just hanging on and being that, you know, thing that gets you salty. Because I'm trying to keep a good mood all the time, doing my best, keeping things around me, right? Have my remedies so when the enemy does attack, I got my workouts. Like I got Bob, I wanted to go do that, but he, you know, got me under the weather. So I'm like, okay, don't trip. What can you do? Okay, you can do your podcast, you can do this, you can do that, you can finish, you can cool, right? I'm not gonna let it get the best of me, right? You can't give it power because whatever you think about, whatever you speak about, you give it power to. So even if you think you saying what you don't like, you still giving it power. Why are we giving things power that we don't want? Hence the reason why I do not understand the point of negative conversations. I don't understand them. There's literally no point, right? There's no point. What's the point? Oh man, the weather's trash. Okay, what can we do? Man, this is great weather to man watch a movie, pop some popcorn, chill. Optimism, homie. Man, I got this hard ass teacher, man. But what do you think you're gonna get out of that? Right? Are they gonna make you a better student? Right? Are they gonna teach you how to detect assholes from a distance? They're gonna teach you something. So don't neglect that opportunity, right? Because nothing's by accident, right? So that's the thing, man. We got to watch our language. We got to constantly pay attention to what we're saying about ourselves, what we're saying about other people too, right? Because what we put out there comes back. This universe is circular. So what we put out there comes back. So I'm constantly trying to help people, right? Advice, business advice, it doesn't matter. Whatever you want to know, I'll help you. You know, even when people, because I said to myself, I said, I ain't gonna say it, I said, but a lot of cats don't understand how to say thank you, you know, when you take time to do anything. But that's us and our ego looking for man to repay us. Man can't give us back what we give in the world. Impossible. Only person that can return that favor is God. Period. So don't look to man to return the favor. Don't you hold the door open for somebody, they don't say thank you. Don't trip. Gotta thank you another way, man. You may go in there and find plums. Right? You hold the door for the lady at the grocery store, she doesn't say shit to you. Dude, whatever, doesn't vice versa. But you might go in there and find them plums you've been looking for the last 2 years. Right? So God gave you a better thank you than that human could ever given you. And that's I know that's hard to comprehend, homie. You know what I'm saying? Really hard to comprehend, but it's the truth. Don't look for them to repay you shit. It's not coming from humans. Look for favor from God. Look for favor from the universe, right? Understand that it's coming full circle. And even when something closes, a door closes, it was a door that you didn't want anyway, right? Trust me on that one, man. I was in line getting a card yesterday, and a female was like, I asked her how her day was at Target, just being cordial. And she was like, "Oh, I just went going through a breakup." Da 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 da. Da. Start laying it on me, but didn't, you know, never said how she was doing. Oh, you know, I said, well, you know, something. I said things happen, and this too shall pass. You know what I'm saying? And somebody else hit me up, and da 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 da. Da. And the whole point was, you know, don't turn down opportunities to help. You know what I'm saying? And give people some of the experience that you have in terms of how you overcame something, because those same stories and situations can help people get through things, right? So them saying things about you in business advice, right? Back to that, because I still do that sometimes from time to time, and not just in a classroom setting, but if somebody asks me. So like somebody asked about Google AdWords, right? So I was like, cool. I like to talk about that. And you know, most people, oh man, I don't want to hear nothing about. This is the thing, right? If you're an entrepreneur, or if you're interested in things like that, these are some of the things that you could be interested in. There's a few resources that you can look at that'll get you there. And the reason why it's important, why Google AdWords is important, is because when somebody does a search, right, whether it's mobile phone or on a computer, um, yep, no doubt, or a computer, local results come. But if you use Google Bing or whatever the case may be, we'll just talk about Google in this case. And you want to be considered in that space. So let me show you. So, like if I would just use our hair company as an example, and let me share the screen with you guys so you guys can feel what I'm talking about. And if you aren't interested in this, that's cool. But I think that what I'll start trying to do is give you guys, some where is it? Okay. Uh some tips on from a business standpoint. You feel what I'm saying? Like, let's see. Because some of the stuff like I said, I get down with. There we go. So, like I'll show you guys if I did a search of our hair company. So let's see if the ads will come up. No, probably not on here. Let me try this. Let me hide this. And let me go here. Let's see right here. I'm gonna go ahead and do a search for our hair company so you can see what the ads look like. Our ads are running. So excuse me. I'm leaving you guys, man. Just switching it up a little bit. But I had somebody actually offer from a financial standpoint too. So if you guys are interested in more financial resources, then I can get somebody on here to talk about some financial things. So it's really up to you guys. I'm trying to find that happy medium. So you can see right here, this is how your search comes out, and you want to be considered. So let's see, go back to this. You can see on how both our things come up and our website comes up and a bunch of other stuff comes up. So a lot of times our ad will come up, but for some reason it's probably just recognizing that. But there's a way that you can manipulate this to where your ads can come up just based on someone searching. So you can see wig delivery, the wig delivery, LA. And see, sometimes they'll come up. Let's see. So we come up number 3. Number 2, which is great. After we come up number 3, and then we're certified. The rest of them, they got whatever. It's all good, but you get the idea. And basically, what Google AdWords does is it actually allows you to manipulate this somewhat. So I'll open up AdWords to show you guys actually how that works. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, let me know in the chat. If you're not, I'm trying to give you guys more. I love the motivation stuff, but I wanted to give you stuff a little bit more hands-on that you can actually use business-wise. So, let me know if this is something you're interested in. If you guys ain't feeling it, then I'll focus back on more motivational things. But I want to give you something tangible, and then let me show you where you can learn this stuff, man. More importantly, and what I tell my students all the time is like, you can get certified in this stuff. And let me show you. Google has a thing called Google Skill Shop, and I've mentioned it to you guys in the past. But you can get certified in these things, and the reason why I keep telling people to get certified in because 1, they're going to make you way more competitive, as an individual. 2, you're going to learn from your business standpoint how to, and you can hustle off of this stuff. So if you're trying to really like, let's see, did I share this with you guys yet? Hold on. If you're really trying to like up your skills, this is the way you want to go. Google Skill Shop, you can learn Google Ads, education, ad manager, YouTube. You can learn all these different things in Google products and become certified in them. You can add those to your LinkedIn profile. Once you add them to your LinkedIn profile, now people understand that you're an expert in certain things. Highly encourage you guys, whether they're homies or not. I'm not downplaying anything, man. If you guys are professional, this is what you want to do. You want to go ahead and try to get certified in these particular areas. And it's the most important things is free. So you get all these things free. Whatever you want to learn, Google, you can see mine expired a couple years ago, but you can get certified as an individual qualification. Give you a certificate, and then you just take the exam. It's 1 hour, and then it just asks you certain things about websites and different things like that. But it's really good because if you have no background in this stuff, you don't know how to do Google AdWords, you don't know how to run or how to analytics works, you don't know how any of that stuff works. Free stuff for you, right? Free stuff that you can actually learn, and you can go on the website. One of the things about the Champion Talk, and I'll go back to that motivational side of things, is we're always trying to learn, right? We're always willing to learn. We're always willing to invest time to learn things, right? And these things are free. Most cats won't tell you things for free. They'll try to sell you something. Champions ain't got to sell you shit. I don't have to sell you game. That's the difference in me. I don't hide game and say, oh man, you got to pay me first. This is all stuff that you guys can actually use and run with. You start to understand how to work YouTube marketing. You can do that for other businesses, right? You can set things up for them. Now you have a business. You can create an entire business off of the Google Skillshop certifications. I'll get you. You can go to every small business in your area. I can get you on Google. I can show you how to use Facebook ads. I can run AdWords for you. All these things online. The main thing you have to do is be willing to invest the time, right? Commit to it. Show the intention. Let me make that move. D was talking about what? He said Google certificate or Google Skillshop. Let me Google that now. Let me take action now, because if I don't take action now, guess what? It ain't going to happen, because there's going to be so many different things that distract me. So many different things. You know what I'm saying? That distract me. I'm about to help somebody with Google AdWords. I'm going to go into more detail. I just wanted to test you guys to see if you guys were even interested in that. Then that's the thing. Somebody take action on it. Go get a skill shot. Somebody come back next week and talk about, D, I'm certified. I'm certified in AdWords. I'm certified in YouTube. I didn't even know how YouTube worked, dog. I didn't know how the ads work. Now I'm about to run ads on YouTube in my neighborhood, right? For my chicken spot, whatever. I don't care what it is. But now I'm about to do this. I'm about to test, and I'm about to spend $100 and test the game. See how many calls I get, right? My homegirl selling this. I'm about to tell her, spend $50. I'll run your ads real quick to test, and then we'll do X, Y, Z. See how you response you get. And you start to practice and test things, man. This is what we do. This is what can we do? You got a computer, you got an internet. I don't even care if you got a phone. If your phone is the only primary resource or the primary source for internet, take action, dog. Don't wait. These gifts don't come out of nowhere. And I'm not sitting there putting a 10 on what I just told you, because I've told you that before. But the point I'm making is these things can set you up for success. Big time. Most people aren't even using these tools. I use Google AdWords. I've been using Google AdWords for the last 7, 8 years. Period. So I understand that. I've been running YouTube ads. I ran Facebook ads. I ran Instagram ads. All these things. And I ran I know how commercials work. I know how to write a commercial. I know how to write a 60-second commercial. 15, 10. All that. What can we do as champions? What moves can we make? Anybody ready to start their business? Let's go. What's the first step? We talked about DBAs. We talked about LLCs. We talked about all that. What's the first step that we need to take? The hardest part ain't the mechanics, right? The hardest part is convincing yourself that you're worthy of doing it. That's the most difficult part, is getting us to get off our ass and take action. Is to take that first step towards success. Hardest part of going to the gym is not lifting the fucking weights. It's getting out of our car. It's getting in our car. It's going. That's the impossible shit, right? Once we get rocking and rolling, we get in there and we get the maneuvering, right? We see other people, we get inspired. So get on that highway of entrepreneurship. Get on that highway of your dreams. You got to start moving now. You can't wait, homie, because it's going to go to somebody else. You're going to be sitting there. Next thing you know, man, I passed up on this. I passed up on that. I could have took advantage of this. Somebody else came up with the idea. I should have been doing this. Yes. And there's no time like the time right now. And there's not going to be a better time than right now. There's always going to be some bullshit. There's always going to be something that's stopping you. There's always going to be a fear. There's always going to be something. Doesn't matter. You got to get cracking now. School, sign up. Figure out what the class is. Take one. I started off with English 50 and Math 50. Period. Remedial shit. Even though I was sharp as a tack, knew how to count cash, or will weigh cash, do all that. Still needed remedial, right? According to them. And I'm still learning stuff now, right? Which keeps me young. Keeps me young because now I'm in the mix. My mind is constantly being challenged on a regular basis. So this is what we have to do. Champions are always in the gym, and not necessarily physically, but mentally as well. How have you challenged yourself? What have you read lately? Who have you talked to? Any videos you watched? Right? You can watch me. I'll put you up on certain game, but my main thing is to get you going. Right? The mechanics and the technicalities you're gonna have to figure out, and the universe will provide the details. But you got to get out of that. I'm just gonna post up and wait stage. Negative. We're not waiting for anybody to give us a blessing. We're about to go up there like Errol Spence and go get that motherfucking belt. Period. And that's the mentality we need to walk into life with. That's what we need to wake up with. And don't get me wrong, mornings are difficult. I get that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes days are better than others. Some days your girl acting cool. Some days she might be tripping, vice versa, your dude, whatever the case may be. I get that. But you got to have your tools in place. That's when you got to go to your tools. I got a book over here. I got a book over here, right? You got relationship problems, read the 5 love languages, right? It's going to help you out tremendously so you understand how people love what they love language is. Some people physical, some people verbal, some people like giving hugs, some people like giving pounds. You need to figure out what it is that makes them tick, right? This is all relationship practice. So there's going to be days that suck. Do something about it. What can I do? Right? If we're beefing and we're constantly fighting, what can I do? I need to read something up on relationships. I need to look at some videos. I need to do something. But damn it, take action. Period. Take action. Do not sit there and wait on something and let it fester. Take action. You got an idea, write that shit down. You got that. Take action. Period. So right now, the book that I'm listening to, asking is asking is given. Period. I'm on that. I've been on that all week. It has been a powerful resource to me, and I've been asking for it, right? And the thing about it is, I'm on some Steph Curry where I'm gonna just turn my back to it. I'm not gonna sit up there and watch and see if it goes in. I'm not gonna sit up there and watch and see if it's given, if they're really gonna give it to me. I know it's given because I already asked for it. So I might as well just wait, go ahead and do whatever I'm supposed to be doing, prepare in the process, not sweat it, right? Not be desperate, but kick back and wait on it, right? But at the same time, take action every day to move something towards that dream, right? Because this is you in a partnership with the universe, man. It ain't just on the universe just to give you shit, right? It's not on the universe just to constantly feed you stuff. You gotta hey man, we in this relationship together, right? As long as I keep dreaming and working, man, you're gonna keep delivering, right? Yeah, I will. And that will conclude our weekly tap in for this week, man. Championship talk, man. The language of champions. We got to change our language, period. 100% we got to change our language, right? And it starts with us. So make sure you guys tap in next week as we'll be here as always. If you haven't left us a review, again, I'll ask you guys, man, leave us a review. Put a few words in there, right? Don't just leave us a rating. Put a few words in there of what you get out of this podcast, so some people may get that same feeling too. All right, that will conclude the weekly tap in. I'm tapping out.